It was late June 2025 when a single tweet set the VTuber community on edge. From Korekore, a name that needs little introduction in Japan's entertainment world, Korekore isn't just a gossip streamer, he's Japan's most notorious exposé YouTuber. Known for his sensationalist style and massive live streams, he's built a reputation for getting insider information directly from VTubers, musicians, and public figures themselves. He's exposed major music producers like Yab, which worked with Niji Sanji, and was a key source behind the very public divorce of Mafu Mafu and Mikaneko. And he also played a major role in the Ruha scandal that led to one of Hololive's most infamous terminations. So when Korekore tweeted that night, people paid attention. At tonight 11 p.m. he wrote, "Live broadcast, I will make accusations related to former Hololive member Minato Aqua." One sentence. That's all it took to set the VTuber world on fire. To understand why fans were so alarmed, you have to understand who Minato Aqua is, or rather, who she was. Minato Aqua was one of Hololive's top stars. After 6 years as part of Hololive, her graduation on August 28, 2024 sent shockwaves through the community. She was a foundational member, a fan favorite, and for many, one of the faces of Hololive itself. But her story didn't end there. Just 2 months later, on October 27, 2024, Aqua returned. She redebuted under a new identity, Sakuna Yuki, and her comeback livestream shattered records, with over 300,000 live viewers tuning in simultaneously, a level of attention most VTubers can only dream of. So when Korekore named her in his tweet, fans immediately feared the worst. Would he expose something from her past, reveal personal details she had kept hidden, or was he about to drop a scandal connected to Hololive itself? Soon after, Korekore issued his second announcement. Starting at 10:45 p.m., a live broadcast of dark news on Kick, Hololive, Minato Aqua, Sakuna Yuki's case. 3 names: Aqua, Hololive, Sakuna Yuki, and a warning: dark news. Fans were left to speculate. Theories spread like wildfire. After all, Korekore streams have a history of not just reporting news, but changing careers or ending them. When the livestream finally begun, the truth stunned even Korekore's regular viewers. It wasn't Aqua, it wasn't Yuki, it wasn't Hololive, but it was someone deeply connected to all of them. Her illustrator, a respected artist named Gao. And what Korekore revealed that night would end his career. This is the story of the Gao Scandal. Korekore began the central portion of his stream by calling the alleged victim directly. She joined the call live. Her tone was quiet, oddly casual, but her statements were unsettling. She explained that the relationship began when she was 14 years old. After replying to Gao's tweet, he contacted her through direct messages. From there, they played Splatoon together, grew close over regular calls, and after just a few months between August and October, she was the one who suggested they meet in person. She traveled to Gao's home, she stayed overnight, and their relationship turned physical. At the time, she said she believed Gao was single. She told Korekore directly, "At the time, I didn't know he was married." Only after they began meeting, she explained, did Gao reveal the truth. He told her he was separated from his wife and that his child, who was in elementary school, lived with the wife separately. He himself was living with a girlfriend. Initially, he had claimed to the victim that the apartment was simply a rented workspace. In reality, she discovered that he was living there with his girlfriend, whom he introduced to her after she arrived. This revelation came only after she had already visited his home and stayed there. In other words, while Gao was still legally married and had a child, he was living full-time with a different partner, his girlfriend, at the apartment where he invited the victim, all the while having an affair with a minor. Despite this, she said she wanted to keep seeing him, but Gao eventually blocked her, cutting off contact, a detail he would later confirm himself. Yet, their story wasn't over. Years later, they reconnected online without even realizing it. Gao, using a different account under a different name, contacted her again. She herself was using a different name and appearance. Notably, she had changed her hair. For 2 years, they talked regularly, mostly through calls. According to her, Gao did not recognize that she was the same girl from years earlier. In May 2025, when she turned 17, they met again in person. Even then, she said Gao still didn't realize who she was. She explained that Gao told her he was divorced and single, and believing him, she agreed to meet. They went to a hotel, resumed a physical relationship, and began dating again. But the relationship didn't last. Around June, Gao told her he couldn't forget his ex-girlfriend and broke up with her. She also revealed that while dating her, Gao had been seeing his ex behind her back. Then, one of the most disturbing details, she revealed that she had a 5-hour recording of conversations between herself and Gao. At that point, Korekore asked her directly, "So, you're exposing him now because he dumped you?" And she replied, "Honestly, yes." Korekore acknowledged her motive but stressed to viewers, even though your reason isn't pure, this guy's dangerous. He warned that Gao could have targeted others. Korekore then explained that Gao was not only a VTuber illustrator but also known for creating adult doujinjis. Some of those works, Korekore suggested, may have been inspired by real-life encounters. He posed to explain for viewers unfamiliar with VTuber culture. For those unaware, in VTuber culture, the artist who draws the avatar is called the Papa. In this case, from this guy, Minato Aqua's illustrator. Finally, Korekore revealed that Gao had also leaked confidential information in private calls. This included unannounced anime collaborations and behind-the-scenes details about the VTubers he worked with. But just as the story seemed to reach its peak, something unexpected happened. Gao himself appeared in Korekore's stream chat. Without hesitation, Korekore invited him into the call. Moments later, Gao's voice was heard live. What followed was no longer just testimony, it was confrontation. Korekore questioned Gao directly. He asked why Gao had blocked him earlier. Gao admitted he did so to avoid being flamed by him. Then, Korekore asked him the central question. Is it true you had a relationship with this girl when she was underage? And Gao simply replied, yes, that's true. Just like this, he admitted to everything. Korekore followed up, seriously, and was she the only one? And Gao answered, no. There's one more. When asked if the other girl was famous, Gao said, no, she's just a regular person. Korekore also asked whether Gao had ever pretended to be a female online. Gao simply replied, I didn't try to act female, but I kept my gender ambiguous. Then came one of the most surreal moments of the stream. Korekore asked the victim when she had told Gao that she was the same girl from years earlier. She explained that she had only told him during their breakup call that day. Korekore reacted in disbelief. Today? You said I'm the same girl from when I was 14? And she confirmed yes. When asked why she didn't reveal her identity sooner, she said simply, I missed the right timing. Basically, it was only after Gao ended their second relationship that the victim finally decided to reveal the truth. He had never even realized it before. Insane. And although she had previously told Korekore about her story years ago, it was only now that she gave Korekore permission to tell her story publicly. And during Kore's stream, Gao himself confirmed this sequence of events. Korekore then asked her what she wanted from Gao now. Her response was direct. I want him to apologize for hiding his marriage, cheating, and I hope this prevents more victims. Korekore replayed her words to Gao. Can you apologize for that? Gao replied, yes, I'm truly sorry for hiding my marriage and for what I did. Korekore then asked if she planned to report him to the police. She answered, I'm thinking about it. I plan to discuss it with my parents. Turning to Gao, Korekore asked, what's your plan? Do you intend to take responsibility? And Gao responded, as an illustrator, I think it's going to be impossible for me to continue. I'm considering retiring. When Korekore commented, even though you're talented, Gao replied, I've betrayed the VTubers I work with. I probably can't be involved in this industry anymore. Then Korekore encouraged the victim to work with her mother and consider legal action. She revealed that during the stream itself, she had messaged her mother, telling her what had happened. Her mother replied, thank you for having the courage to tell me. Korekore then reassured her and emphasized that reporting to the police was the correct next step. At another point during the confrontation, Korekore even asked Gao how he intended to take responsibility for what had happened. And Gao responded that if the victim did file a police report, he would turn himself in. As the stream neared its end, Korekore addressed his viewers directly. This wasn't just an internet controversy, this was a criminal case. And Gao, beyond his confession on the stream, made no public statement on social media. Korekore reminded viewers that what happened next would depend entirely on whether the victim filed a police report. And yet, as serious as Gao's admissions were, the story wasn't over, because equally troubling revelations were still to come. At this point in Korekore's stream, the situation was obviously no longer just a scandal, it was potentially a criminal case. In 2023, Japan officially raised its national minimal age of consent from 13 to 16 years old, ending a law that had remained unchanged for more than a century and was long criticized as among the lowest in the developed world, according to reporting from NPR. This legal reform was part of a broader overhaul of Japan's outdated laws related to violence. However, that national standard doesn't reflect the whole legal picture. Each of Japan's 47 prefectures can enforce stricter protections through local regulations. In prefectures like Tokyo, for example, the age of consent is effectively raised to 18 years old under the so-called obscenity ordinance designed to protect minors from exploitation. In this case, the victim mentioned working at a maid cafe in Kansai and stated that Gao lived nearby. Their apartments were reportedly just 3 minutes apart. Kansai encompasses major prefectures like Osaka, Kyoto, and Hyogo. While exact prefectural laws vary, many parts of Kansai have similar strict protections. Under Japan's Child Welfare Act, engaging in any intimate relationship with a person under 18 years old, unless legally married with parental approval, is considered a punishable offense. And in this situation, there was no gray area. Gao was approximately 40 years old. The girl was just 14 at the time of their first physical encounter. According to NPR, under the 2023 reforms, any physical relationship involving someone aged 13 to 15 becomes a crime if the adult involved is 5 or more years older. Gao exceeded that threshold by nearly 3 decades. When we lay this against the timeline revealed in Korekore's stream, the severity becomes even clearer. Their first relationship began when she was 14, likely in late 2021 or 2022, and their second physical meeting happened in May 2025 when she was still a legal minor. And Gao himself acknowledged the gravity of what he'd done. On stream, he stated that if she went to the police, he'd turn himself in. This was almost certainly a violation of Japan's child protection laws, and everyone watching Korekore stream that night understood that. But as serious as Gao's confessions already were, there was more, and the next accusations were of an equally dark nature. Partway through the stream, Korekore revealed a new layer to the story, one that blurred the line between fiction and real-life harm. It turned out that Gao's work as an illustrator wasn't limited to safe commercial projects. He was also known for creating adult doujinjis, self-published manga with explicit content. And according to the victim, some of those works weren't entirely fictional. During the stream, Korekore questioned Gao directly. "You've confirmed that you used the victim's ex-girlfriend's name as a character in your doujinji, right?" Gao's answer was simple: yes, intentionally. But the situation was worse than that. Korekore revealed that Gao had previously used a different underage girl he had dated 5 to 6 years earlier as inspiration for one of his adult doujinji works. The link was discovered when readers noticed that a character either shared the same name or a very similar one to the real girl. For everyone listening, the implication was deeply disturbing. Gao hadn't just drawn fictional stories, he had used real people, real minors, mind you, as material for adult works. And the breaches of trust didn't stop there. Korekore also disclosed that Gao had leaked confidential information about the VTubers he worked with, including Aqua herself. During conversations with the victim, Gao reportedly shared Aqua's actual age when she debuted in Hololive, something never publicly revealed. He also disclosed personal details about Aqua's dealings with Cover Corporation, and according to the victim, Gao said Cover wanted Aqua to sign a non-compete contract, preventing her from debuting immediately as Sakuna Yuki after her Hololive graduation. Aqua allegedly had resisted. By this point, the scandal wasn't just about Gao's personal relationships anymore. It was about betrayal. Betrayal of the fans, betrayal of the VTuber talents who trusted him, and betrayal of an industry that had once viewed him as a respected artist. The revelations had reached their end, but Gao's downfall had only just begun. The reactions from fans and industry circle was immediate and devastating. Gao wasn't just any illustrator. He was a beloved figure, both inside and outside of Hololive. Minato Aqua herself had spoken about him in high regard. For many fans, he was part of her identity. After all, he had designed both her Aqua and her Yuki model. The revelation that someone so trusted, so admired, could be at the center of such serious allegations left the VTuber community stunned. On social media, the mood was a mix of disbelief, anger, and heartbreak. Sakuna Yuki's fans, Aqua's reincarnation, rallied around her, but the atmosphere was heavy. People weren't just upset, they were lost. They were confused. Many fans, especially those who had followed Aqua's careers for years, didn't know how to process the betrayal. Even other artists who once worked alongside Gao publicly shared their sadness and confusion. Some clung to the faint hope that the person who joined Korekore's stream wasn't really him, but with Gao confirming the accusations live and even apologizing directly to the victim, denial felt like grasping at shadows. Many viewers agreed that Korekore's stream did at least one important thing. He convinced the victim to tell her mother and consider going to the police. And yet, even that moment was uncomfortable. Korekore had shown the private message the victim sent her mother live on stream, a move some saw as sensationalism, others as necessary evidence. At this point, public opinion was nearly unanimous. People weren't waiting to see if the accusations were true. They were waiting to see what Gao would do next. His silence on social media was deafening. And for fans, collaborators, and even casual followers, there was only one word that echoed through the community: betrayal. Following Korekore's exposé stream, the VTuber community was holding its breath. Everyone was waiting to see what Yuuki Sakuna would do. After all, her name was now attached to this controversy more than anyone else's. While Gao was a respected illustrator within industry circles, illustrators themselves rarely carried the public recognition of influencers or talents. But Korekore's stream had changed that. By framing the situation around Minato Aqua, now reincarnated as Yuuki Sakuna, the scandal had pulled her directly into the center of the storm. But Yuuki Sakuna acted quickly. Just one day after Korekore's livestream on June 30, 2025, she addressed the situation indirectly through a tweet to her 628,000 followers. Her message was subtle but telling. "I'm currently making adjustments regarding future activities, and I'll let you know as soon as things are finalized. Due to scheduling, there are some work announcements coming up soon, and I'd be happy if you could warmly support those. Thank you for understanding." But it wasn't long before she made a formal announcement. On July 2nd, 2025, Sakuna released an official statement that addressed the situation directly. She would no longer be working with Gao. In response to the confirmation of inappropriate behavior by the illustrator, we have decided to refrain from using illustration in the future. However, we make exceptions for recent work that is already in progress. After discussing the matter with the client, please understand this in advance. I own the rights to the character design and will continue to work on them. On the other hand, we are currently in careful discussions regarding the visuals to be used in the live broadcast, including the use of a new illustrator. Although this is a sudden announcement, we would like to continue our activities as usual, so we would appreciate if you could keep a warm eye on us. We hope you will continue to support Sakuna Yuki in the future. The message was professional, calm, but unmistakably firm. Sakuna was cutting ties. In an industry where silence is often the norm, her swift decision to publicly distance herself from Gao sent a clear message. This was not something she could ignore. And then Yuki Sakuna went live to address the controversy. But this wasn't her usual upbeat stream. Her tone was serious, her background was minimal, she even joked that her setup looked like an old school Nico Nico broadcast. But the humor faded quickly. She got straight to the point. For those who had been following her updates on Twitter, she said the situation was probably obvious by now, but for everyone else, she explained her illustrator, the man responsible for her character design, had done something terribly serious. And now the consequences were public. Sakuna confirmed what many fans had feared. She stated that she and her team had urgently suspended the use of Gao's illustrations. She described the scandal as big news, admitting that it had caused chaos behind the scenes, saying things had been extremely difficult. But what stood out the most was her raw honesty. Sakuna openly admitted her shock and frustration, saying,
本当に何にも知らんくて、いやびっくりした。思うことはいっぱいあるよ。正直ね、何やってんだおバカって思ったよ。
She described how overwhelming it felt when the scandal erupted.
本当に私のね、目線から見るともう一夜にして街が吹き飛んだ感じなのよ。起きたら世紀末だったみたいな。本当それぐらいの感覚なの。一体何があったんだってばよ。
Then came something no one expected. She hinted at the financial damage caused by the scandal.
いつかね、お金の面とかでも出したいもんね。ビビるよ。とんでもないよ、正直。 マジでびっくりすると思う。
But it wasn't just about money, it was about powerlessness. She explained to viewers,
私にどうにかできる問題とどうにもできない問題があって、私だけがじゃあ損害を被るだけならいいのよ。その損害を受け入れてってなってくるんだけど、もっと大きな規模感の会社さんとかが関わってくると、その会社さんの判断とかもあったりするわけ。
and then came the moment fans had been dreading, her plans for the future. Sakuna confirmed that a redesign was likely coming, but she wasn't too sure on it yet.
デザインというか、ちょっと、変わるかなと。リデザインという形で、2バージョンを考えています。イラストレーターさんは、多分それぞれ違うかも。
Yet, despite everything, Sakuna took time to thank everyone who had supported her. She said that industry colleagues, friends, and fans had helped her get through what she described as the hardest period of her career. Near the end of her stream, she issued one last warning to fans.
変な情報を鵜呑みにしないでください。それを拡散しないでください。確証のない情報を。どれが本当でどれが嘘かはね、しっかり見極めて。
And finally, she reassured everyone that this wouldn't be the end for her. Even after losing a trusted illustrator, even after public betrayal, she promised to keep moving forward. And just like that, the fallout reached the official stage. Gao's career wasn't just ending, it was being erased. Because following Korekore's exposé, Gao's professional collapse began almost immediately. One by one, companies he had worked with started to distance themselves from him. One of the first was the PC game girls creation Shoujo Art Tales, published by X-Noah and part of the DMM group. On June 30th, 2025, just a day after the scandal broke, Girls Creation PR issued a public announcement confirming Gao's involvement in their project. They wasted no time. The statement began, "We are providing information regarding some character designs that have been inquired about. Please check the in-game announcement or the attached images for details." Gao was responsible for the character design for the game. But that wasn't all. In a longer statement posted to their official website, the management acknowledged receiving a wave of inquiries about Gao's involvement, and they admitted they didn't have yet a full understanding of the situation, stating, "We do not have a detailed grasp of the situation, but we will continue to confirm the facts." They then confirmed that Gao was no longer working on any ongoing content for the game. However, the most significant part of their announcement came next. Please be aware that there is a possibility that the character designs may change. In other words, even characters already in the game could soon be removed or totally redesigned. This announcement triggered a mixed response from players. While many supported the company's decision to distance itself from Gao, others were conflicted. Some fans felt uneasy about losing characters they had come to love simply because of the illustrator's personal behavior. After all, as some pointed out, the characters themselves hadn't done anything wrong. But from the company's perspective, the risk was too clear. Gao's name had become a liability, and Girls Creation PR wasn't taking any chances. For now, his art remained in the game, but his future was uncertain. And yet again, another client prepared to erase him. By early July, yet another major publisher joined the growing list of companies cutting ties with Gao. On July 1st, Kadokawa's Denki Bonko, one of Japan's most prestigious light novel publishers, announced that they would be replacing Gao as illustrator for the popular light novel series I'm a Guild Receptionist, but I don't want to work overtime, so I'm going to defeat the boss solo, more commonly known as Gilmasu. The announcement made through their official website was simple and straight to the point. No reason was given for the decision, but for those following the scandal, the timing spoke for itself. Denki Bonko stated, "We sincerely apologize for all of our devoted readers for the concern caused. We are currently in discussion regarding the illustrator for the new book and the handling of existing books, and we'll make an announcement once a decision has been made." In other words, Gao's replacement was not just for future volumes. Discussions were already underway regarding what to do with the existing 8 published volumes, whether to reprint them with new artwork or leave them as they were. Gilmasu wasn't a small or niche title. It had been published since March 2021, had won the Gold Prize at the 2017 2007 Denki Novel Prize and had even received a TV anime adaptation earlier in 2025. For Denki Bonko, this was a high-profile series, and removing Gao as its illustrator was not a decision they made lightly. Unlike some smaller publishers, Kadokawa made no attempt to soften the news. They acted decisively. Another major project, another severed contract, and Gao's reputation fell further into freefall. And then another major blow to his career came from the anime and light novel series Welcome to the Exile's Dinner, one of his most public and recognizable projects. Originally, Gao had been credited as the character designer for both the light novel series and its upcoming TV anime adaptation, but that changed almost overnight. By June 30th, just days after the scandal broke, fans noticed a quiet but deliberate change. On the official website for the anime, the staff credits had been altered. The line reading character design Gao was removed. No explanation, no announcement, just gone. This deletion was later confirmed through archival snapshots from the Wayback Machine, proving that Gao's name had been scrubbed from the official anime site before the first episode even aired. And then on July 2nd, a formal announcement followed from Overlaps Novels, the publisher of the original light novel series. In their official blog post, they stated, "We're currently in discussion regarding the new illustrator and timing of the response, and will provide an update once a decision has been made." They confirmed that not only would future volumes of the light novel use a different illustrator, but even previously published editions of the novels might be reissued with entirely new artwork. In other words, Gao was being removed from both the anime adaptation and the original novels that it was based on. For a series that had captivated readers and was preparing for its anime broadcast, this was no minor adjustment. And for Gao, the message was unmistakable. His name wasn't just being pushed aside, it was being erased. But also he deserved it. And yet Gao's situation continued to worsen as another high-profile project publicly severed ties with him. This time it was the One and No Watson, a new light novel published under Shogakukan's Gagaga Bunko label. The novel wasn't just another release, it had already gained recognition, having won the Excellence Award at the 19th Shogakukan Light Novel Awards. The series, positioned as a contemporary mystery with a unique spin on the detective genre, was expected to be a significant title for the publisher. Originally scheduled for release in July 18th, 2025, the timing couldn't be worse, and Gao was responsible for the character designs and cover art. The novel's future suddenly shifted. On June 30th, the official announcement came, stating the release will be postponed and have a change of illustrator due to the circumstances involving the original illustrator, Gao. They sincerely apologized to everyone who was looking forward to it. Unlike previous projects where Gao's existing work remained for the time being, One and Watson was halted outright. The novel's release was postponed, all illustration tied to Gao was being replaced before the public would ever see them. They wanted none of that, and the publisher acted with a full restart. For Gao, this was the complete shutdown of a title that was supposed to mark the next chapter in his career, and once again, the industry moved on without him. In just a matter of days, Gao's career entirely collapsed. From trusted illustrator to industry pariah, his clients cut ties, his work were pulled or redesigned, and his online presence disappeared. His Pixiv accounts were closed, his fan box was gone, his name completely erased. And yet, perhaps the most unsettling part of this entire story is how it even came to light at all. Because if not for one bizarre, almost impossible twist of fate, none of this might have been exposed. By sheer coincidence, Gao unknowingly dated the same minor twice, years apart. He blocked her after both relationships too, and when he broke up with her a second time, she chose to speak out, partially out of anger. And if it had been anyone else that second time, Gao might still be working quietly behind the scenes today. What a chilling thought. But as his career collapsed, one question lingered. What happens next? Japan's legal system has long faced criticism for its handling of sexual crimes, and past cases offer little reassurance. In 2020, for example, Tatsuya Mutsuki, the writer of Act Age, was arrested for molesting schoolgirls. He received a suspended sentence, 1 year and 6 months. He never served time. Then there's Nobuhiro Watsuki, the creator of Rurouni Kenshin, who was arrested in 2017 for possession possession of CP material. His punishment? A fine, approximately of $1,900, and a brief hiatus from his manga. International sales of Rurouni Kenshin paused for a time, but ultimately it resumed, and the series even received a new anime reboot in 2023. Both cases led to widespread outrage, and yet both creators continued their careers. It's worth noting both of these cases occurred before Japan's landmark legal reforms in 2023, so whether those changes will affect Gao's situation remains to be seen. But at the time of this recording, no formal charges have been confirmed, and Gao himself had issued no public statement beyond his confession during Korekore's stream. But in the court of public opinion, the verdict is clear. His clients are gone, his works are being replaced, and even if the legal system remains uncertain, his career is not. Because in industries built on trust, on parasocial bonds with fans, the loss of public faith is often a harsher sentence than any court could deliver. And for the VTuber world, the anime industry, and fans alike, this story serves as a sobering reminder. Behind every username is a person, and sometimes those people are hiding things far darker than anyone could imagine. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed today's breakdown and want to support the channel, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a future upload. And if you're interested in exclusive videos, anime reactions, and unfiltered commentary I can't post here on YouTube, check out my Patreon. The link's in the description below. Your support helps keeps these deep dives going every single week. Oh, and if you want to discuss this story or just hang out with other anime and VTuber fans, come join my Discord server at discord.gg/Rima. It's free and we'd love to have you there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And while Gao alleged that Cover wanted Aqua to sign a non-compete contract. Sorry. I'll get this right. As Sakuna Yuki after her. The message was professional, calm, but unmistakably. And yet, even in that so admired could be at the center of such serious allegation left. The series positioned as a contemporary